Dennis Williams is no stranger to First viewers. We welcome him back as our first person this week. Welcome, Mayor Williams.
Pleasure to be here.
So let's start with an update. Charles Ramsey's work is certainly coming along with the Wilmington Police Department. Can we talk a little about that?
Yeah, well, Charles Ramsey is the top cop in the nation, and President Obama picked him to serve on several boards, especially for updating police departments going to the 21st century. Chuck, I'm to the point where I'm calling him Chuck now. I mean, we're very close.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job for us, and he's showing us some areas where we need to tighten up. But some of the areas that we were already working on, he was pretty impressed with. But when he lays out and say you need to change a little bit of this and move this over here and redeploy here, he knows what he's talking about. He was in D.C. as a commander of the whole entire police department, Philadelphia, and he also rose through the ranks from the Chicago Police Department. So the man's no stranger to modern day policing and large police departments. He's a top cop in the nation, and he's a guy that I would take advice from.
So a nice pick for a nice consultant to
Oh, absolutely.
pick. So how long will he be working with the police department?
He's going to be here for about another 6 months, and if we need him any longer, we will. And I think that a lot of folks are pretty impressed that he's here, because I've had several requests for him to attend certain meetings or coming, and people want to put him on boards and give opinions, but I can't do Commissioner Ramsey's schedule.
Okay.
I don't think he came to Delaware for all those other things. He came to help the Wilmington Police Department, and when his contract is concluded with us, then he can take a look at what he wants to do.
Okay. Tell me, can you share? Is it too early to share some of his ideas?
Well, one of the things that he talked about is our Operation Disrupt. You got to keep that moving. At one point we started cutting back on that, and I was really upset about that. I feel that Disrupt keeps criminals on their toes and back on their heels, and that's one of the things he did in Philadelphia was Disrupt, and Disrupt means exactly what it says. It's disruption. If you're on a corner dealing drugs and carrying firearms, you never know when the police are going to come. It keeps you off balance, and that's what you want to do to criminals. You don't want criminals to become stationary in areas and feel very comfortable. We don't want that.
Okay.
And that's one of the things where he really looked at. And then he talked about our real-time crime center. It's up and running now.
Yes.
It's 21st century policing at its best. I mean, Star Wars, state of the art. Have you been there yet?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And those are the things where he really pushed on us to get done.
Okay. But money, I guess, was a major problem with the Disrupt, right?
Yeah, money, but you figure out, you cut other places to make Disrupt work. And if I don't know if you look at some of the videos and all, we talked about different things the city's doing. We ask every department to almost give us a 10% cut. We've been cutting all over the place.
Okay.
And I know the police overtime is high, but public safety is high. When people want a safe city, a safe country, they have the military strong. You don't talk about the cost. That's why the United States hasn't been invaded. I mean, if you look at the dollars, if you want safety, you pay for it.
Speaking of money, the budget was recently passed. Are you pretty much satisfied with it?
I'm satisfied. The political games are over, and we have a budget now, and it's time to move on.
Is it anything that I guess you really wanted to be on that budget?
It was a bare bones budget. I knew this
Okay.
was an election year. I really didn't lose anything. I didn't want to play politics and the foolishness. I really don't have time for it. I got a city to run, and it's time to move on, and let's get through this fiscal year.
What about your goals on bringing new residents and businesses here to the city?
Well, we over the past year or so, we had over 3,000 business licenses, and I think things are changing here. I think you see some more small businesses coming to this city. 9th and Orange, the new high-rise is going to be completed in early winter 2018. It's going to be 200 upscale residences, swimming pools, retail, and even another section in there is going to be called Burton Way, after the late Dutch Burton city councilman, who had a sit-in in that area when it was a luncheon counter there for many years ago, and during the civil rights movement. I mean, that's going to be a major player. Some of his family will be back to cut the ribbon on that, and I hope I'm here at the same time.
What are you doing to keep businesses here like Pont?
Well, DuPont's gone, but Chemours, we worked with them, and we gave them some incentives. The county gave them some incentives. The state gave them some incentives. But let me say this, even before Chemours decided to stay, our city wage tax was in the black. We brought so many small businesses in, we offset the losses. And a lot of people don't know that, and maybe we need to get this message out a lot more. I told my team when DuPont said they were going to pull out, I told people DuPont's been saying that for 20 years. So roll your sleeves up, let's go to work, and those big businesses like that are gone now. You can't depend on them any longer.
I think that's one of the things people have brought up getting the message out. How can you get the message that you're doing certain things out?
Well, you know,
effectively?
you have this one horse town newspaper that they hate my guts, but it's okay. You know, they don't print any good things we say, but if the sky fell in, they would say I did it, and beautiful flowers, God did it. But, you know, I get no shot from them, so I don't waste my time with them any longer.
But you can waste your time with us.
I'll talk to you guys. I mean, I'm here, and, you know, people talking about, you know, you don't attend the debates. Well, why should I sell papers for you? You know, every time they put my picture on the front page of the paper, it looks like the Thanksgiving edition. All the advertisements and all are in there. But when I'm not in the paper, it's so thin, you can't even see it. You pick it up and it just floats like a paper airplane.
Well, I want to switch. I want to switch the subject for a bit.
Don't edit that either.
Oh no, we won't. Trust me. So, want to switch the subject and talk about this soda tax in Philadelphia. Is that something we could possibly see in Wilmington?
No, I don't see the need for that, because what you'll do then, you'll drive small business people out of business. You'll have people moving toward suburban areas and going to malls, buying sodas, going to major places like Target, and then what you do is you hurt the small businessman in the city. And I think that's what Philadelphia's going to get a taste of after this goes, because it's not statewide in Pennsylvania. It's the city of Philadelphia. And when all those folks start going out buying soft drinks outside the city, I think that the city council and the mayor is going to take a look at it and say, whoa, wait a minute here. Because if those small businesses start going under, you're talking about losing jobs.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So another groundbreaking this week on a new multi-use building just off Market Street, right up the street from us, actually. The Buccini Group has invested a lot in the downtown area. Is your office, or does your office talk a lot with them about new projects?
Do we talk a lot? Oh, God, all the time.
Okay.
Just had another phone call this morning about an issue. I mean, it's constant. I think sometimes Rob's in the building more than I am.
Okay.
And we support the project. This project is going to give us $500,000. I just spoke about it briefly before. To be $500,000 a year, 360 construction jobs. Again, when you see a city where there's cranes going up, where there's construction, the city's alive. When you see a city that's not moving, stalemate, no businesses, and no one building, it's a dead city.
Okay. Well, I wish we had a drum roll, but I guess I can just do this to symbolize it. The September primary is months away. You've done one debate. Where's your voice?
My voice is in the community. You know, debates. When you sit in a debate, you have 7 people trying to unseat you. I'd rather for those people to tell the public what they're going to do and not try to mimic what they're going to piggyback off of me, what I'm already doing. I attended one of the debates at the church, Easy on Fair.
Yeah, I was there.
We talked about issues, and, you know, some of the people that sat on that panel, they voted to lay off policemen. But when I was ready to go for the torpedo shot, you know, I wouldn't get called on. But everybody was pounding on me, and by the time I tried to defend myself, the debate was pretty much over. I'm not going to sit in a room with 7 people, and I'm not going to get a fair shake. And the News Journal, they know why I'm not attending these debates. They know exactly why. And, you know, they know I'm not going to get a fair shake. I went through this mess with them before. 7 or 8 debates. Come on, give me a break here. You can have one debate and talk about every issue, would have been over with. Let's move on. But, you know, they want to be relevant. They're a dying newspaper. They have to make themselves look important. And I'm not afraid to take them on, really. They don't like me, and I don't like them.
So is it safe to say you are definitely campaigning?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Right in the districts, you'll see my signs all over the place. Talk to people. I'm definitely campaigning. See, you know, being an elected official, talking is one thing, but delivering is another. And a lot of places people say, I don't see you and nobody sees me. Well, they don't see me because I'm in high crime areas where I should be. I'm in areas where children don't have a father. I'm in areas where people are losing everything. That's where I have to be to let people know, hey, I am the city father. I'm trying to do everything I can to help you. You know, I go all over this city. But the most important place to me is where people are struggling and they wake up every day and they have no hope. That's where I have to be. That's what I ran on. People have no hope. They need me.
And I guess those places are what? Southbridge, East Side?
There's a whole lot of places. The East Side, Southbridge, parts of Riverside, parts of the East Side, Locust Street, down by Gander Hill Prison. There's a whole development behind the prison that people don't even walk in. People that are extremely poor.
So your predecessor dealt with a lot of criticism. You know, former Mayor Jim Baker, he was an in-your-face type of guy. Will we see that part of you come out this election season at all?
Well, Jim, they say me and him are exactly alike, but I think my mouth is not as quite as potty. No disrespect, Jim, if you watch this, but I'll battle if I have to. But you know, you don't have to call people names. You know, my mother always said, you know, you must feel bad about yourself if you got to call names. Somebody I had to get on Facebook got so upset and called the newsroom on me and said I told them that they feel bad about themselves, and they do. You know, you call me names. Why are you calling me names? I mean, you feel bad about yourself. Look in the mirror. You know, if you want to call people names, call yourself names. If you want to curse me out, why you have a potty mouth? You know, don't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't care if people don't like me. I really don't. I have people that love me unconditionally, and I have the good Lord. I don't need the rest of this foolishness. But everybody wants to get elected and wants the world to love them. It doesn't work. There's things you're going to have to do as a leader. People are going to dislike you for. Every day I wake up, I think about what my mother said. Make 2 friends a day. You're going to lose one, you gain one.
That's true. Well, thank you so much for being here. Mayor Williams, we appreciate every time you come. And
All the way live.
yes, exactly. He's our first person this week. Tune in.